Okay, so recently I put in a community post a few pictures of machines that I'd seen at a local car boot sale. And I also said that I had bought one of these and asked for your opinions as to which one I had bought. Now the first one, option one, which I'm putting up on the screen now, is a rather smart 1970s record deck, a bit like the BSR I already have. I was tempted by this one, and about 13% of you who voted thought that I might have bought that. And option two, which is a sort of rather larger console, or I would call it a sideboard type one, to go on a low table with speakers in the side, hidden speakers in the side. This one, only 8% of you thought that I would have bought this one. Option 3 is a fake gramophone. Some of you asked if it was fake or not, and indeed it is fake. And a good 34% of you thought that I'd buy this one. And option 4 is a rather smart 1930s radio speaker, radio extension speaker. And a good 45% of you thought that I'd buy that one, and probably because I have a nice horn speaker for a radio already, which I've done several videos on. Anyway, so what did I actually buy? And there we go, I bought the fake horn gramophone. This does of course have a horn, it was in the picture, there's the horn there. Now these machines, there's so much I could say about these machines, and I'm going to cover some of it in this video. I don't know exactly what I'm going to cover. Even a few basic things like videoing them is quite difficult. I mean, they're just awkwardly shaped. I mean, they work better for shorts, actually, YouTube shorts. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a camera down a bit closer and just show what is actually supplied with it. And if you're hearing a sort of weird echo, it's actually the horn. And there's a weird thing about these horns. If you actually speak close to one of these horns, they do actually sort of vibrate and actually give a little bit of echo to your voice. I don't know if that's coming out on the camera or not, or on the audio. But there you go. If you're hearing that, then that's what it is. So reverting now to sort of handheld. Let's have a little look around this machine. I've got another camera running with a top view just in case. But we've basically got an octagonal shaped case with a rather poor quality HMV or His Master's Voice logo there that is actually partially covered by the brass surround. We've got some more brass work there and around there too. Now, I've done videos on fake gramophones before, and I will do more videos on fake gramophones, I'm sure. But we'll just cover off a few points. First of all, HMV never did octagonal gramophone cases. So we know immediately this is a fake. And these fakes, they may come from more than one country, but they're associated with India. And certainly the decoration on this machine suggests that it's probably from India. So what else have we got sort of on the outside? Well, we've got a brake here. You can see the motor does actually function. There's a speed control here where the lever is actually completely off the dial. The dial's all rusty. So it was plated, but it's plated on steel. You can see the same here. There's rust showing there. At the back here we've got a tone arm. There's a sound box here that does say His Master's Voice, and I have covered this style of sound box before. This is not a HMV sound box, this is actually a Thorin style sound box that's just been copied because it's easy to copy. And it's on I think it's a gooseneck tone arm that's so poorly made it doesn't actually even want to swing around over onto the record. And then this back bit here I think is brass, there's some signs of soldering there. And we've got an aluminium back bracket here, which is very loose, but that can be tightened up on the inside. And then there's a screw under there holding the tone arm, which is just completely inadequate for the purpose. So that's why really this doesn't want to move. And in fact, if I look inside, you might be able to see just how sort of mismatched the shape of the tone arm and this pipe here is. Now I've moved the tone arm completely out of the way so that we can look inside. So we've got the motor, which I'll come to in a moment, and we've got in fact a couple of these attachments. These are the things that attach the horn to the back of the machine. So presumably there's a machine out there somewhere that doesn't have one, because I've got a spare. There's some needles that were supplied. I think when these machines are new, they're supplied with I think 5 or so needles. These could be the needles that were supplied with them. They look like loud tone ones. I doubt that I will actually use those needles. There's a winding handle. Certainly in some cases you can put a genuine winding handle in these motors, but this is definitely a fake. That sort of black handle, wooden handle on the end there, that's just an obvious sign of a fake. There, the screws at the back, or the nuts at the back that hold the back bracket on, they're hexagonal. I don't think they would be hexagonal in the era of horn gramophones, and they're probably a modern thread as well. Now, what I would say though is that otherwise there's a lot of slotted headed screws, like on the hinge there, and even the motor seems to have slotted headed screws. So to that extent, it's looking kind of a bit genuine. Now you might be thinking that the motor is out of some portable gramophone, and in some sense it is, because it's a copy of a Garrard 30 motor, which was used in some portables, but this motor has never been in a portable. This is a completely new made motor. Don't be fooled by the rust. It certainly had a bit of a bad life, but that rust might be deliberate. It might have actually been aged by just being stored poorly, just to make the machine look older, really. This machine is not 100 years old or 120 years old. It might be 40 years old if it's lucky. It might be 5 years old or 2 years old. You just don't know with machines like this. Certainly I've seen machines as recently as 2017 being assembled with motors like this. There's videos on YouTube. So anyway, that's the motor. The turntable, and in fact everything to do with the turntable, is very portable gramophone like. The brake, the speed control, get that into camera shot, and the curve on the platter. And I've covered all of this in previous videos, but I'll probably end up covering it again in respect to this machine properly. But this is all very sort of portable gramophone. The only really odd thing about it is that the colour of the felt. Fake machines invariably have red felt, and real machines invariably don't. So quite why they go with red felt, I don't know. It just makes them stand out as fake machines even more. So I've removed the items from the inside, and just to give it half a chance, I'm going to try tightening up these nuts, and it's not easy to do so. I probably need a socket set or something to do this. We just get them a little bit tighter. There are videos on YouTube made by the people who actually supply these machines, showing how to assemble them, because they actually come with all the bits actually inside the case. It's not brilliant, but we'll do that. And the other thing that they do is they come with a record usually as well, and this one came with a record too. I'll just go grab it. So it came with this rather worn and beat up His Master's Voice record. The black and white image of the dog and gramophone show that it's quite late on actually. The earlier ones, certainly around the time that horn machines were being made by H&V, they would have been in colour, or they would have been a different style of logo entirely. So this is definitely a later record. I haven't attempted to even read the label, but let's have a quick peep now. It says record manufactured by the Gramophone Company Limited, Dum Dum, India, which is certainly where they had one of their factories, or their factory at one point. And the record is N50861. Now, one interesting thing about these records, or at least, well, vaguely interesting I suppose, is that when these machines come from India, they actually put a record on like that and they just shrink wrap the whole thing, or wrap the whole thing in wrap. So the machines are shipped from India with one record in place. So when you see these machines demoed, it doesn't matter which country in the world you see them demoed in, it's often with a random Indian record, and that's why. Okay, so we'll put the record to one side for the moment. Let's see if we can actually get a horn on this machine. It's still quite loose actually. I clearly have not tightened it up anything like enough. In fact, I realise now, of course, that there are screws in the back, so I'm going to have to do two things. I'm going to have to get a screwdriver as well. Pop a screwdriver in the back. So if you're enjoying this video, then please give it a like so that I know that YouTube knows too. Thank you. So I've talked about, I think, all the bits of the machine, just in case anybody didn't follow and is wondering, you know, where the real bits, you know, of real gramophones appear in this machine. The answer is they don't. The machine is completely fake. It's completely modern. There are no genuine bits of gramophones in this. No vintage parts, no parts of old portables, no bits of old recycled machines. Nothing on this machine is genuine. It's a complete fake. So let's have a look at the horn. Put the horn in the middle here. So this is a brass horn. Now I won't in this video, but I will in another video show it in comparison to a genuine gramophone horn, of which I have a couple or three. It's made of brass. It's got a pattern that's been stamped into it. I don't think even the genuine brass horns, of which there were a few in the early days, although they moved on to tin plate later on, and wood as well was another thing they used. But I don't think even the genuine brass ones ever had this sort of patination stamped in like this. This is again sort of Indian decoration. It's a bit beat up. And there are actually some problems. Some of the seams have can't see actually. There's definitely, yeah, there's definitely some seam issues here, like there, which won't help the sound, but you know, could be sorted out. I think there. Hopefully you can see on camera. So yeah, I can straighten that out a bit. If we try and connect it to the machine, these elbows here, as they're known, I mean that one's a bit bust. I have actually fixed one of these on another gramophone, on my other fake gramophone. Maybe we'll use that one. That one looks in better condition. So pop that one on there, and we'll connect up the horn and actually there we go. And it's really difficult to get this in camera shot. This bench just is not big enough really for this, but there we go, kind of like that. So you can see what it looks like here. Now if you're hearing any sort of outside noise, and I apologise, I can actually hear people talking and motors running for cars and stuff. Now that may or may not come through on the audio, but I just want to sort of quickly do this video and show you this machine. So you get an idea of what I bought. Okay, so that's the machine. So you may ask, why did I buy this machine and how much did it cost me? So I bought this machine because I thought out of all the items I saw, it would give me the most scope for making videos. I've already done some videos about fake gramophones and comparing them to real gramophones. This one was sufficiently different from the other ones I have to warrant buying, I felt. So that's why I bought it. The radio horn was very nice, but I've got a big horn one. I really didn't feel that I had a use for the little wooden case one. So although it was very cute, and I could have made it work, I didn't feel there was enough value in it to me to buy, and I'd have to store it, so I didn't buy it in the end. Okay, so the big question is what did I actually pay for it? Well, in the end, having told the dealer initially that it was worth about 20 quid to me, I paid £55 for it. And I did so because the dealer had told me that it had cost him £50, and I obviously couldn't go below what he paid for it, although I do feel a bit guilty. I probably squeezed him down a little bit more than I needed to. He didn't make very much money on it at all. I don't think he'd actually bought it at a particularly good price. So is it worth £55? I mean, well, they do cost more if you buy them online. I've seen them for quite a lot more in antique shops, but this one is in pretty poor condition. It's far from working. I mean, I can't demonstrate it. I mean, I can run the motor. It doesn't sound great. That's going to need some work. Anyway, what do you think? Do you think it was a good price? Do you think it was a good buy? Let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, then you might like this one too. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.